Yo, guys, welcome to the Blue Podcast. This is the Purple Show with me, Tom, Ben, Fab, and Cam. How you boys doing today?
All right, not too bad, thank you. Yourself, Thomas?
Not great. This is obviously being recorded on Sunday after the FA Cup final, so Fab's happy.
Yeah, of course.
And just after the City 2-2 draw with West Ham, which, I mean, getting a draw from 2-0 down, it's not bad.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we should get into that as it's fresher in everyone's minds. But before we do please make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. It helps us out a lot. And like the video if you do enjoy. So, yeah, City were 2-0 down to West Ham, brought it back to 2-2, and then Mahrez had his penalty saved. How you feeling, Ben?
I mean, if you'd told me at half time we would draw 2-2, I would have taken it. But obviously, with the missed penny, you're like, you know, what could have been. But yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, at half time, I would have taken a 2-2 draw because at least it's still in our hands then. Because if we had lost that like 2-0, our goal difference is only +5, and then Liverpool would have probably smashed Southampton 6-0 or something. That means it would have been in their hands then. So having that obviously keeps it in our hands, but obviously with the penalty, you know, you obviously like what could have been with the it's like a carrot dangling in front of you a little bit. But like I said, like at half time, I would have taken 2-2. So yeah, but like I say, it's not anything can happen. It's not guaranteed, and Liverpool winning the quadruple is still very much a possibility. Like it just like and like Madrid are not going to beat Liverpool, and if City slip up to Villa, then that's Liverpool's title. So you know it's a very real possibility.
I genuinely watching that Man City game which just happened. I'm disappointed in West Ham for letting that slip. The 2-goal lead and go into half time, and Man City weren't looking good. They were not good the first half, and then they had chances in the second half, West Ham, and they didn't take them, and then it obviously came back to bite them in the ass. So, yeah, I just want to make it interesting. I want West Ham to get a result there to make it interesting for everyone else to come down to the final day.
I mean, it still does. Still does.
It's still close, but it's what could have been. Like you said, what could have been. So,
just the other side.
Fair play to City though. Like they did come out second half and they were better. They were a lot better. So, but you shouldn't have been putting yourselves in a situation from the first half, really. So,
I didn't watch the game, so because my Wi-Fi was bad. Yeah. How did it go down?
I mean, our defensive injuries basically came back to bite us a little bit because our defense is just awful. It's just absolutely trash. Like Fernandinho and Laporte as a centre-back partnership is just not the one. I mean, if you remember a couple of seasons ago when Liverpool won the league by a long way when we came second, that was our centre-back partnership because we didn't replace Company and it was awful. So we know it's awful, but we don't have any other options at the moment because Diaz, Stones, Walker all out, and it's just like right, well, brilliant, like.
It took a bit of good play from West Ham. Like Jarrod Bowen had a good first half. He played quite well. And it basically was just City all possession, dominating the ball, not doing much with it, and then West Ham counter-attacking and taking their chances. That was essentially all it came to. But then, like, a couple of chances, 2-0 up, and it was like, something they could actually be pulling us off here. Like,
yeah, it's a common theme of. Especially, I mean, even if you go back to that season when Laporte and Fernandinho was our centre-back partnership, that we would dominate games, but our defence is not good enough to cope with those counter-attacks. Unless we have Diaz in there and Walker and Stones. Like, it just is not good enough. And that's why, like, Aston Villa, it's not guaranteed because that is going to be our centre-back partnership for that game.
Do you think Fernandinho in centre-back's better than Ake in centre-back?
Well, the reason he's doing that is because if he plays Ake and Laporte, it's 2 left footers, and that never works at centre back. It does like people.
It's an unwritten rule, isn't it? It's an unwritten rule.
You don't do that. It doesn't happen.
Yeah,
so that's the reason he's doing that. But I don't know what else you can do, and it's like, yeah, I mean, obviously with with us having the penalty and obviously could have won it, obviously that would have taken the pressure off. So the pressure obviously is on for the Villa match now, and with it being Gerrard as well, it's like there is a little bit of a storyline being written there that he could win the league for Liverpool.
Yeah,
and it would
Gerrard and Coutinho.
It would be typical for that to happen. Like, this is why I'm saying Liverpool win the quadruple is still very much a possibility, because that you can see that happening. It's like almost written. Like, if that's the way the game would go. I mean, obviously City can still go and win that game, but if City were to lose it, that is the story that is written. So
well, I know Fab came down. He came down about 20 minutes to go and watched the penalty, and there was a little bit of celebration when Fabianski saved the pen from a few of us. It was a good moment. It was a good moment. So, but then we were talking about after, weren't we, Fab? And it was like, well, Liverpool still have to win these two games no matter what, and if City win, it doesn't matter. So,
I think the way I looked at it was, even if West Ham had beaten City, you make it sound like 5 or 6 goal difference will just wrap that up against like Southampton and Wolves. But I think the reality is, like, especially with Salah now probably out for the next couple of games, I don't think we'd make that goal difference back.
Yeah,
so
I suppose. But I think, that's what this Liverpool team just seems to do it. So,
but it's more Salah seems to do it, really. If I'm being completely honest, like he's when we win big, he's always a massive part of it. So, being honest, I don't think we would have won the league on goal difference. But yeah, I do think it's a possibility you drop points to Villa. Trying to be optimistic, but I think
I don't even think it like you have to be optimistic for that, because it's a real possibility. Like that's just that, like that is the reality of it, because of that defense. Our defense is awful because we've got all the injuries. Like, it's just awful.
Speaking on injuries and centre back, though, do you know what's happening with Van Dijk yet, Fab?
Nah, I'm more worried about Salah. To be fair, I think Konate and Matip will do a job. And we've got Gomez as well, so we're not too out of form. There's Fabinho as well. He's meant to be back for them. I do think with a sort of reformed squad, I think we should beat Southampton and Wolves.
Should beat Southampton.
And if we don't beat either of them, then we've only got ourselves to blame. It's more the Champions League final. The race to be fit for that is going to be extra tough now. I think Fabinho's meant to be back. No idea about Salah and Van Dijk, though. I haven't heard of them.
I feel like you did miss Fabinho yesterday in your midfield.
Yeah, we always do.
For sure. Is this a good time to talk about yesterday then as well?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it, Fab?
Yeah, I mean, obviously good result. And another trophy for the season. I thought the team played well. I would have liked to see Diaz be a bit more clinical near the end. I think the whole team sort of lacked a bit of cutting edge.
Yeah, I think both teams really couldn't finish that game, could they? I mean, you hit the post, we hit the bar. Like, Pulisic went just wide twice. Jota skied it. Diaz missed it again. Like that game was very. Don't know where Ben's gone.
Internet.
Must be the internet. It was I felt like the scoreline was fair for the game. Both teams had shot. It could have very easily been like a 3-3, as well as.
In all honesty, I think maybe I'm biased here, but I do think Liverpool had the better chance, and I think
you were the better team.
Put the game to bed. I think if Chelsea would have got a late goal against us, I think we would have been very hard done by. But it's football at the end of the day, and
penalties, didn't it, boys? I was sat there nice and neutral, nice and not very stressful for me. But I mean, it was pretty heartbreaking for you, Tom.
Yeah.
Especially boy Mason Mount as well.
My hands for the Mane one, so I didn't see it because I was just not looking, and it got saved. I went a bit ballistic then. And then obviously ate my words about a couple of penalties later when Mount can't do it at Wembley. Obviously can't do it at Wembley. So, yeah.
But it's okay. It's okay. you weren't expecting to win that game anyway. So
no,
it's because you got so close. You got so close.
It's, as I said yesterday, it's more the 3 years in a row is the more painful bit than losing to Liverpool or the way we lost. Well, the way we lost her, obviously, because it's penalties. And I've seen a lot of things on Twitter kind of scapegoating Mount and Mendy during the penalties. Like, how did Mendy not save a penalty and stuff like that? But, like, it's penalties. Like, it's way harder for the keeper. Unfortunately, Alisson did fine.
Yeah.
It's way harder for the keeper to like actually save it, unless you kick it close to him, which Mount did.
Well, I've just had a notification that Chelsea have won the Women's FA Cup, so there's that.
Way.
At least one of our teams are winning.
Yeah.
That's because they actually have a striker who can score.
Yeah.
Maybe you should sign her.
Yeah.
Already better than ours.
More clinical than Lukaku.
Yeah, but he had a great chance yesterday and just skied it.
Yeah.
Like he played well, but when he when he had the opportunity to kind of write his name in the headlines, he didn't. So yeah, bit of a shame. But obviously Liverpool very happy. Obviously still on the road to the quadruple, which was obviously helped today. I remember we were talking about how funny would it be if one of the best teams in the last 25 years only wins a Carabao Cup, but obviously that's not happening now.
Well, I don't like people saying that because I think the best Liverpool team in the past 25 years is like putting like unnecessary expectation on them. This team's already done some amazing. You're saying this current team's the best. I mean,
one of the best.
I would say so right now.
Like one of the best English sides in the last 25 years.
But most of the players in that team you're talking about have already won everything there is.
Exactly, that's what makes them so good now. That's
just because one season they don't bring in more than 2 trophies. I feel like that talk is a little bit.
But the expectation is to win a big. Like if you don't win Champions League or the Premier League in a season, it's a poor season.
Yeah, but we also play in the hardest league in the world. It's not like the Bundesliga where for players that sign.
That's why we mean it. Like that's what we mean by how good your team is. Like but you're doing it in the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup. You're in the Champions League final. The Premier League's probably going to come down to the last day of the season, and you could still win it. So like, I feel like there's a lot.
Yeah, my point being, I'm sure every Liverpool fan out there is not taking these trophies for granted, and even if we finish the season on 2 League Cups, the League Cup and the FA Cup, I wouldn't say that's a poor season either. I think the shift everyone in that team's put on this season, the amount of games they played in a squad that is still, relatively susceptible to injuries, I think has been amazing. And I think the effects of that are starting to show the moment. As you saw, we've got 3 pretty major injuries potentially coming up with this Champions League final. But, I think
I wouldn't say you're any less likely to win it now due to those injuries. Because like yesterday, you had Salah come off and he still looked threatening, and Van Dijk came off in extra time and you still were completely shot. Like
I would say if we're missing Van Dijk, Fabinho, and
for the Champions League, I'd say
it's quite a major blow altogether. I'd say those 3 players are probably our most important. Really, I can't think of maybe
in every position on the pitch. They are like. Van Dijk missing Van Dijk a final would be clear. Salah, like it'd be great to have him in, but you could miss him because you've got good players in the same position. Fabinho as well. Like when you take out Fabinho, you have to play Henderson, Thiago, Keita. Like there's just not much kind of structure in a way. Like there's no kind of reliability in there that Fabinho brings. So. or James Milner. You never know. James Milner could pull a worldie.
He played well yesterday, unfortunately.
So yeah, but Champions League's not how far away is it? It's a couple of weeks away.
2 weeks probably.
Saturday 28th is.
So you'll be fine. Whatever injuries you've got now, you should be back by then.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Should we move on to? Oh, go on.
No, I was just going to say that this Liverpool team, they won't be judged on how many trophies they. This is what Fab's saying. They shouldn't be judged on how many trophies they win this season, which they won't be because they're like this. I think this is what Kevin Thomas saying is because they've already won those trophies before.
Yeah,
they won't be judged on how many trophies they win this season. It's still a fantastic season. You've got 2 trophies out of it. What Tom and Cam are saying as well is sort of the like, because this is one of the best Liverpool teams. I mean, from what they've done in the past already shows that is that obviously, even though it's still a fantastic season, if you don't win the Premier League or the Champions League, it's like that your team is by far.
Yeah, you should be winning them. That's the thing.
Good enough to win those trophies.
And it's just our little the little thing we can take out from.
Yeah, that's they're dangling. This is what I mean. So the rival fans are dangling that in the hope that you don't do it because then they can go, oh, you've got a sick team, but you still couldn't do it. That's what they're hoping.
I know what you mean. But I mean, my only argument against that is especially with the Champions League, there hasn't been, an expected winner. Obviously, there's always favourites and stuff like that. But apart from the Madrid side that won it 3 times in a row, I wouldn't say there's a team out there. That's on that same level. We'll go into the Champions League fresh out of season. You will be like, I know who I'm putting my money on. They've got a 50% chance of winning it. The Prem, obviously, you go back 10 years, and yes, you're right. We should be winning the Prem every season. We'd have no excuse not to, but we're against an amazing City side at the moment, so we'll have to battle that out with them for now.
Yeah, I saw a stat that if City win the Premier League this season, Liverpool will have made it to over 90 points in a season 3 times with only 1 Premier League title on the clock, which is mental.
That is crazy.
Mental. Actually, but just again, it just shows the caliber of teams we're actually we're up against, and also another thing about how good our top teams are. But you could say, that just shows that they're running away with the league comparison. Yeah. But at the bottom of the table, if Leeds win one of their next games and still go down, they'll finish with the highest points of a relegated team in a Premier League season as well. So it does show that actually all the teams are doing better. It's not just these 2 teams that are. They probably are dragging the Premier League up with them because of the quality that they have.
Yeah. No, I mean, going back to the Liverpool thing, it very much is rival fans sort of saying it in the hope that it happens. I mean, I'm not really obviously, anyone who's not a Liverpool fan wouldn't be keen on Liverpool winning the quadruple. But if they do go on to do it, you just have to hold your hands up and be like,
fair play. Yeah.
We can't say anything else.
But I don't know. I mean, Arsenal are nowhere near any of this talk. So I can appreciate even the possibility of it happening hasn't come about for a long, long time. Yeah. So even just the kind of even just the possibility is you have to admire that. To even be in the conversation about winning a quadruple, not just a triple, a treble, a quadruple that is ridiculous. But winning everything that you are competing in the current state of the league, but also European football is ridiculous. So at that point, you just got to hold your hands up and be fair play. So, but then I mean,
go on. I was gonna say, should we touch on Arsenal?
Do we have to?
Yeah. We do. It's the purple show. Chelsea, City, Liverpool, and Arsenal. We have to touch on Arsenal.
Can we talk about next week when we've won both our games and qualified for Champions League?
No, we'll talk about it now, mate.
So I'm guessing everyone watched the North London derby. I watched 70 minutes of it and I had to turn it off. You know what? It doesn't matter anymore. That game's gone. We've got to look forward to Monday. We'll look forward to tomorrow. That's what
we want to analyze it like Ben did.
No, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare.
It's
Go on, Ben.
It's a bit more difficult to analyze it like I did when you lost the match. Like, obviously, like it wasn't the best result, but we still drew. So it like, even though there was negatives to it, there was still a few positives to it. Like with this, it was just it's the derby for obviously Arsenal, and you've lost. So
but not just lost, but like lost.
Yeah. So it's
I feel like everything that did go wrong.
Yeah.
Like I think, especially with Rob Holding, I think you got exposed a little bit there, possibly from his previous good performances. But I think at the end of the day, you know, some players in your squad just aren't Champions League caliber.
He's just an idiot, really. Like I think if that's Ben White's smart enough to not be sent off from 2 yellows in like 7-8 minutes. Like I can understand the tactic. Don't let him turn, because if he turns and runs with the ball, he's gonna really hurt you.
Yeah, literally, I was watching the game and you were quite like happy with Son getting chopped down, and you know, fair play, you're getting the job done. But I was saying if it's 10 minutes in and you're relying on challenges like that to stop the opponent's forward from getting in, then it's kind of warning bells for me that, you know, it's by the end of the game, something's more is going to happen there.
But then by the time if you know you're on a yellow card, you don't do it anymore. If you do it, you're smart about it so that you don't get sent off. But he literally, the second yellow card, he literally puts his shoulder in his face and in front of the referee. Like, it's just he lost his head. He lost any sense of like, maybe I shouldn't do this. We're going to go down to 10 men. I'm on a yellow card. And then obviously that happens. And then by then we were already, we were 1-0 down at that point anyway, because of the penalty that Cedric, again, poor decision making, lost his head a little bit. So they were 1-0 down, red cards. Then they scored a second one not too long after, and the game's done.
Yeah, they were just coasting after that, weren't they?
So even at like 2-0 down, Arsenal were creating chances and they were threatening. So even with 10 men, that's a positive that I could maybe take out of it, is that, I mean, if I thought Martinelli had a good first half. I'm only going to go off the first half because the second half was just pointless. Like, the game was completely finished by them. But like, Odegaard had a chance. Martinelli played well. I thought Saka was getting into the game, but there's not much he could have done. He was playing at cam essentially when we went down to 10 men.
Yeah. I thought you started the game better than Spurs, and it was that penalty that was the turning point. I thought Nketiah was pressing really well from the front and had a chance. I'm pretty sure.
The first 10 minutes, definitely.
Like, it was the first 10 minutes was it was all Arsenal dominated. Came out the blocks faster, and then obviously just the decisions that came from our mistakes. Then it just took the game away from us. So, which is frustrating because we were in the game. We were definitely there to prove a point, and there to, if we win that game, we win the race to top 4, and we've got Champions League football. And the first 10 minutes show that they understood the enormity of that game. But then 20 minutes later, it's completely out of your hands. So look, now all you got to do. I mean, Tottenham, they've just scraped the win against Burnley as well.
I mean, also, have you seen the penalty?
No, I don't even want to look at it. I saw it was in the 48th minute.
Mate, it's the softest handball I've seen in a long time. And bear in mind, we've seen some soft handballs. This one is awful. I won't lie.
No, in all fairness, you know, he does have his arm. I didn't look too much into it. He does have his arm in a natural position. It reminded me a bit of the Champions League final penalty Mane won against Spurs. And I think one of the Spurs players, I can't remember which, just had their arm out in the box, just kind of like at shoulder level. And Mane, he kind of basically just kicks it into him. And at the end of the day, within the rules of the game, that's always going to be a pen.
Yeah.
And
it was just, for me, it was just like, I was staring at it the whole time. And for me, again, it comes into what I think is like it's too uncertain. Like with the Alonso handball in Real Madrid, there's not from the VAR there was not enough evidence that his arm actually touched the ball, in my opinion, because his arm was like that. Sanchez kicked it up, right? So bear in mind, it's not like a shot or anything. If it was a shot, fair enough. The kick goes up. I think from obviously the decision, it glances his arm on the way up. And I mean, like, I tried to stare at the spin of the ball.
Was it like,
touched it.
Did you need like they do like the sound checks in cricket?
Yeah, in cricket.
Was it that like close? That. It was that tight?
Yeah, genuinely.
His arm pretty clearly. I think it was more just the fact that his arm he was just flying in for a block or something, and to elevate yourselves, you kind of put your arms in the air like going for a header, and it's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. So by the letter of the law, it's a pen. I just feel like it shouldn't be.
They won. They beat them. It doesn't matter. It's still in Arsenal's hands. They have to win their last 2 games. However, Newcastle away, I think, could be a problem, a very big problem, because they are. I mean, they're not. They're out of the relegation battle, aren't they? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they're long gone. They're trying to get top 10.
So yeah, so they are playing quite well at the moment. I mean, this half of the season from January, since Eddie Howe's come in as well, they've been one of the best teams in the league, foremost. So, and at home, they've been even better. So for us, it's a must-win game and nothing else against a good team that are in form away from home. It is, yeah. I'm not looking forward to it. Put it that way. I'm really not. So,
I'm sure the race for that's one thing I want to touch on as well. I think the end of this season is just going to be really exciting all over the table, because you've got that relegation battle, Everton, Leeds, Burnley, which obviously today is just, I think it's gotten even closer or something like that. You've got the top 4 battles you just mentioned with Spurs, Arsenal, and maybe you could talk Chelsea into it if you want to be nitty picky about it. And then obviously the race for the top, which I think, I don't want to sound pessimistic, but with the Haaland signing, I don't think, I do think you'll run away with it next season, especially if we sell.
That's not how football works.
He's going to come in. He's going to score 25 goals in his first season.
All I'm saying is, I just don't take these deadline day or final day game days for granted, because I think it'd be really exciting, and whatever the outcome is, I think it will sum up like an amazing season.
It's been a very good season. Very good.
Yeah.
No, it'll improve us, Haaland, but it doesn't mean it's over, because that's not the way football works. Liverpool will improve, Chelsea will improve, Tottenham will improve, Arsenal will improve. That's not the way it works. But
the thing is though, they're not going to be bringing in.
No. But Liverpool, Chelsea, and United will improve as well. But Liverpool and Chelsea, especially, you will improve.
Well, we've got Fabio Carvalho, you've got Erling Haaland.
When Lukaku on his stupid wage, and you get Haaland, it's
what turns these players into world class players. So
I'm not saying Liverpool aren't going to fight for the title. I just, I think
City's missing piece. It is literally City's missing piece.
If we do slip up to Villa, signing Haaland is the only thing that'll stop us or stop me from going into a deep depression. So
the thing is, you on to win the league now without a striker for the whole season. Like that, I see Jesus as more. Jesus might play striker for Arsenal.
Top scoring side in Europe as well.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, it's curtains. It's curtains. That's what I'm saying. It's curtains.
All right. Well, we'll wrap up there. I'll quickly run down the leagues for us anyway. Currently, Arsenal are in 5th on 66 points, but obviously game in hand on Spurs in 4th, who are on 68, who are 2 points behind Chelsea on 70, who have played again have a game in hand on Spurs. Obviously, if Arsenal win tomorrow, or today when you watch this, they will be 1 point ahead. 1 point ahead of Spurs.
Yeah.
If Chelsea win, they'll be quick maths, 6 points ahead of Spurs, 5 points ahead of Arsenal, and just have to draw their last game. Actually, I think we're pretty much safe.
You're safe, I think.
Yeah, if we win on in midweek, we're done. In terms of obviously the title race, Liverpool are in second on 86 points, but obviously have a game in hand on City in first place on 90 points. Liverpool win, they go on 89 points, 1 point behind. And obviously it comes down to the last game of the season pretty much for everyone. So on that note, you've got a lot to look forward to, hopefully, with the Purple Show coming up. Either there'll be joy, and there'll definitely be joy, and there'll definitely be heartbreak. If it's for any of us four, you'll find out very soon. Cheers.